What's up everyone? Alex here. We finally made it. It's the last month of the year. How's your backlog doing? If it's like mine, it's probably overflowing with a ton of games that I want to play. And it's actually even a miracle to think that I was able to review so many wonderful JRPGs this year. But now it's December. Just taking a quick peek at this month, there's a ton of Square Enix titles that are going to be released. And I've got a feeling that the Square Enix releases just won't be slowing down in the coming year. As always, I have my personal picks to share with you. So without any further ado, here they are. I've actually had a copy of Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII since its release on the PSP, but I never actually took the time to play it. Several years later, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion is coming out, with full voice acting and tweaks to its gameplay that make it play better than the PSP version. A lot of you have mentioned that this is one of your favorite side stories in Final Fantasy history, especially since Zack didn't get a lot of time in Final Fantasy VII, which is fitting because you get to play as him in Crisis Core. If you haven't seen the video that I made for this game, they actually released a huge technical document that kind of goes into the nitty-gritty of what changed for the game and what kind of alterations that they had to do in order to make it a more modern experience. And what that just told me was that the original PSP release was already way ahead of its time. I even heard that the battle engine in Final Fantasy VII Remake was partially inspired by Crisis Core's battle engine. So that's an interesting fact to think about. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion is coming out on December 13th on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, and PC. Moving forward, I'm going to be calling these groups of platforms all modern platforms. This next game is something that I was only privy to over the past few weeks, and this is very interesting, especially if you were a fan of the Fable series, which I totally am. This game is called Kinseed, which is a life simulation sandbox RPG developed by the folks who worked on Lionhead's Fable franchise. Much like Fable, you can age in this game and also play as your children right after you pass on. And as you can imagine, it has relationships, the ability to own shops, and so much more that it just kind of reminds me a lot of the elements that I absolutely adored in Fable. I remember buying out all the houses and collecting all the rent from people in Fable 2, and I still have heart-wrenching memories from when my dog passed away in the game. And then of course they released a DLC where the dog is now alive, so it kind of does away with the emotional impact of losing him, so there's that. That aside, I'm really hyped to check out Kinseed and see what that's all about. And it's coming out sooner than you think. December 6th on PC. Chained Echoes is a love letter to anybody who loves playing those 16-bit classics from Square Enix, and of course, just the pantheon of JRPGs over the past several years. I actually made a video covering the battle system and the progression system in Chained Echoes, and I highly recommend checking that out. But the bottom line is that based off of what I've seen, a lot of the changes to the battle system are really well thought out and serves to create necessary challenge that some of us have been clamoring for in JRPGs. And the fact that it does away with the experience point / leveling system doesn't necessarily mean that you can't grind, because you can still grind for SP points to improve the skills that you buy. And I think that's a really good way to balance things out. Couple that with lots of toggles that'll allow you to customize the difficulty of the game, and I have a really good feeling that Chained Echoes is going to be one of the best JRPGs released this year. Chained Echoes is coming out on December 8th on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. And here are the rest of the games coming out in December. Romancing Saga Minstrel Song Remastered is a remaster of the PS2 remake of the original Romancing Saga, which was released on the Super Famicom, is out on December 1st on PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC. The Callisto Protocol, the latest survival horror game from the minds that brought you Dead Space, is coming out on December 2nd on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, and PC. Marvel's Midnight Suns, a tactical game featuring Marvel characters from the creators of XCOM, is out on December 2nd on PS5, Series X and S, and PC. Hello Neighbor 2, the sequel to the popular survival game, is out on December 6th on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, and PC. Samurai Maiden, a hack-and-slash RPG, is coming out on December 8th on PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC. The Rumblefish 2, a re-release of the legendary fighting game developed by Dimps, is coming out on December 8th on all modern platforms. Witch on the Holy Night, a Japanese visual novel developed by Type Moon, which was originally released in 2012, is coming out on December 8th on PS4 and Switch. Dragon Quest Treasures, an action RPG starring Dragon Quest XI's Eric, is coming out on December 9th on Switch. And last but certainly not least, Valkyrie Profile Lenneth, a modern port of the PSP remake of the original PS1 classic, is coming out on December 22nd on PS4 and PS5. And that, my friends, are some of the games coming out in December. Now, regardless of what you have on your backlog and whatever the heck you need to play next, I want to hear what you think. Are you interested in any particular game on this list? Post your thoughts in the comments below and let's talk about it. And if you're thinking of picking up any of the games in this video, check out the pinned comment to find links to purchase these. Every purchase helps the channel out. Thanks for watching, everyone, and Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next video.